Yo, what up, everybody? So I've been putting off this video for a long time now. This is the call with Lieutenant Raulerson. The guy on the screen is Sheriff Chris Naco. I sent him an email at one point, but he just sent it down to Jeremiah Hawks. Jeremiah Hawks responded with, I was required to ID, as was evident in my video. I'm going to pause to see if I can pull up that email. Alright, this is when Officer Naco, let's see. Here's what I wrote back then. Officer Naco, I'm writing because my wife and I are currently terrified of your deputies as they're engaging in illegal behavior. Your officers are currently retaliating against me because I stood on my constitutional rights on the night of Lake Padgett Estates, and I go on and send them this really long email, okay? So this is what I get back from Jeremiah Hawks. This is the head of legal now, okay? I was provided your email for a response. It is my understanding you filed a complaint with the PSO's Professional Standards Unit. I will forward your email to Detective Tim Roy for review. The determination was made that the sinkhole area presented a danger to the community, and the sheriff has the responsibility to limit access to protect citizens and their property. That's again, this is a lie. This is the head of legal now. So the Supreme Court has ruled the police have no responsibility to protect anyone. So he says community and the sheriff has the responsibility to limit access to protect citizens and their property. So that's a lie. And then it says your insistence that you do not have to show ID was incorrect, and you created the unnecessary delay. So I'm incorrect. Now, okay, remember this. The deputies that evening were acting pursuant to their instructions and dealt with you in a professional manner, as your video shows. So he's saying that I was incorrect and I did have to ID, okay? This is the head of legal now. If you've received ordinance violations that you feel are not applicable, the appropriate remedy would be ask the court for a hearing. So they're just pushing me off to the corrupt court. So right here I respond, which law requires me to ID, and the guy never responds. So let's get back to the phone call with Lieutenant Raulerson here. All right, so I'm going to play the call with Lieutenant Raulerson. This is the same night of the sinkhole. This is after contact with Davila, Ojeda, Larry, the cool cop who was just trying to make a living. It seemed like it didn't have an attitude like the other ones. And finally, after that, I was stopped by Corporal Kempink and Deputy Booty Aiken. Okay, they detained me over there and wouldn't let me go and said I had to prove it. So here's the conversation with Lieutenant Raulerson. I'm sure I'll be butting in.
Raulerson.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Sergeant somebody, I forgot his name already, gave me your number. Sergeant Tyrant.
Okay.
I was riding a bicycle through my own neighborhood and on Media, and I was trying to go down to exercise my First Amendment down there by the sinkhole. And two cops stopped me, wouldn't let me go by, wouldn't tell me if I was being detained. And I was asking the sergeant if the Fourth Amendment's been suspended in my neighborhood, and he wouldn't answer me. He kept telling me to call you.
Okay, well, we have a media staging point where you're welcome to come down.
That's where I was trying to go, and I got threatened by your officers.
Are you credentialed press?
Am I credentialed press? I was wearing credentials around my neck, and the First Amendment is all the credentials you need to be media anyway. See, that's the part. That's the part police don't seem to understand. They seem to think that if you're media or press, that you're some higher statured person with some type of government clearance. They believe that press credentials are like government issued, and that's just so far from the truth. You don't have to have a license or anything.
Area that you are welcome to come down to.
Sir, I'm trying to explain to you that when I went down there, your corporal and another officer kept threatening to arrest me.
I'm telling you that you can come down there. You can tell them that we've talked. They can contact me on the phone.
You can tell them that we talked. How about you call them and tell them what they're doing is wrong? Okay, but what about this hour?
Media staging area is at.
What about this hour they had me detained illegally? What are we gonna do about that?
Okay, they were talking to you.
No, they weren't. They told me I could not leave and I could not move forward.
and I could not go home. That's
okay,
a detainment.
Well, if you have a complaint that you'd like to file, you can go to
Oh, right away. If you have a complaint.
Internal Affairs on Monday.
So you're not interested either?
By the way, I've already gone through internal affairs, 2 different internal affairs. I had to file a complaint on Detective Tim Roy, who he's talking about, for filing a false memorandum. I guess I could cover that shit later.
And you can file a complaint.
So you're not interested either?
Well, you're welcome to talk to me about it. If you want to file a formal complaint, that's how you go about doing it.
Is this corporal? Is he under you?
It depends. They're all under me at this incident, yes?
Corporal Kempink.
So in this Lake Paget Estates area, they're all under your authority?
That's correct.
Do they know what a seizure is? Because the corporal claimed that stopping me and impeding my freedom is not a seizure. Does he not know basic law?
Well, if that's what happened, then I suppose we have to have a conversation with him about that.
If that's what happened, I guess we're going to have a conversation with him about that. If you watch the video, that's exactly what happened. I asked if I was being detained. I was told yes. So I was detained.
Exactly what happened, sir. I have it all videotaped. And as I'm walking away,
okay,
he kept taunting me. He told me I'm not allowed to ride my bicycle. I'm not allowed to walk.
I misspoke there. He told me I couldn't walk to my own house.
And the burden of proof is on me to prove to him who I am before I can go to my house. Is this what is taught in the police academy?
I don't know what was taught in his police academy. I can't answer for that.
Well, was it taught?
I'm gonna try.
Was it taught in your police academy, or is that outlandish?
Well, I can tell you that stuff like that was not taught in my police academy.
Okay,
if you'd like to come down to the media staging area, you're welcome to.
Sir, I'm scared to leave my house. I'm scared to leave my house. I'm scared to leave my house at this point because.
And the reason being there is because I would have to leave my wife at home by herself. Who knows what they would have done to her, or who knows what they would have been doing around my house. Plus, they had already surrounded me and threatened me with arrest several times.
Well, I can't help you with being scared to leave your house.
Well,
you're going to have to take down your own,
sir,
down and come to the media staging area.
With all due respect, it's because your officers were threatening violence against me. So if I go out there again, are they going to threaten violence against me?
If you want to come down to the meeting stage area, you're welcome to come to the media staging area, if that's what you'd like to do.
Will your officers threaten and impede my freedom on the way there?
They are going to ask if you have business in that area, yes.
Watch how he starts tripping on his words here.
That is how we have it
that is
set up.
Sir, you can ask all you want, but I'm not required to provide any info.
They will allow you to come to the media staging area.
Okay, and I'm not going to be threatened anymore, and they're not going to tell me that I'm only...
And here's they are, Corporal Kempink and Officer Booty Aiken.
Allowed to go where they tell me I'm allowed to go in my own neighborhood, and they're not going to tell me I have to ID.
Oh yeah, they're going to tell you that you can go to the media staging area. You can't go any further past that.
Well, they just told me I couldn't, and they kept threatening me with arrest.
They will tell you when you come back that you can come to the media staging area. You can go no further than the media staging area.
Are you saying you got
forward as you can go?
You can't go any further than the media staging area because it was literally right in front of the sinkhole. The edge of the sinkhole is about less than 100 yards from, less than 50 yards from the media staging area.
Are you saying you've got...
If you went any further, you'd be in the sinkhole.
Sorted it all out, and you figured out that I'm allowed to do what I was doing without IDing?
Listen, I wasn't there, so I can't answer that question right now.
I
can tell you this. If you return, you can come to the media staging area.
Notice the desecrated American flag right here.
Okay, that's what I'm explaining to you.
I'm not... Okay, but the thing is, I'm not sure how to get there. I was riding my bicycle, and again, 5 or 6 of your officers had me all hemmed up and wouldn't let me move. So... I'm scared.
What's this entrance down here? What road is that? That's Lake Paget and what? Ocean Pine and Lake Paget.
Which is right here, by the way. Right here where these two assholes are standing.
That's exactly where they stopped me.
That's the road you need to come down to.
But that's where they stopped me and started threatening me.
Okay, listen,
I didn't even see this desecrated blue flag, so he's doubling down with the desecration of the American flag here.
I've explained to you what the procedure is going to be. If you'd like to come there, I'm not going to continue to argue this point.
All right, no more arguing.
Come to the media staging area.
I can go to the media staging area.
You can do your reporting.
And I don't have to ID myself to anybody in my own neighborhood. Is that correct?
You need to stop by and say, I am media. I'm going to the media staging area.
But I did that
That's
already,
because
sir.
keeping folks that don't live in the neighborhood from doing nefarious things in the neighborhood.
So again, they use the safety as a reason to nullify the Constitution.
I understand that, but I'm following.
And remember, the Supreme Court has ruled that they are under zero obligation to protect anyone. If they don't protect you, you can't sue them. They don't have to protect you, and a lot of times they choose not to, believe it or not. You cannot carry a policeman around on your back. Part of being an American and having freedom is that you can manage your own life and not be dependent on the guys with guns and costumes.
Florida law to the letter, and you guys seized my person. It's illegal. It's illegal. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm scared. You guys have threatened me in my own neighborhood when I was exercising my First Amendment right. So I can't. It's hard for me to trust you. What you're just telling me on the phone, that these guys aren't going to attack me again.
I'm sorry you don't trust me. There's nothing else I can do other than say you can come to the media staging area. I don't know what else to do.
And I don't have to ID myself.
You
Is that correct?
come down to take video or photographs.
And I don't have to ID myself. Is that correct?
You have to say that you're here for the media staging area.
Okay. They're not gonna threaten to arrest me like they did last time. Is that correct?
You identify yourself as a media member and you want to come to the media staging area. Yes, you can do that.
Okay. So no more threats of violence. I'm allowed to travel in my own neighborhood now. Thank you. Lieutenant what? Raulerson?
Yes.
And where would I go get official complaint forms?
That you can do at the Newport Ritchie building, the front office on Little Road.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Internal Affairs.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, there's Lieutenant Raulerson. The same day this happened, where I was stopped right here by these two douchebags. First, this one, who doesn't know the law, told me I was detained. And then this one comes and backs him up because he already had a problem with me recording at the checkpoint he was standing at. So, there you go. I do not have to ID to go to my home or to go to the media staging area. And let me pause this real quick and look up the law. All right, where was I? So, this is what I was actually carrying. Let's see. Press ID. Actually, I was both of these. One was clipped on the other one. Pretty much the same thing. It's press ID in the front and the law on the back. Okay? Let me read some of this to you real quick. Okay. Do not hinder, exclude, block the view of this journalist in the exercise of the long established and court recognized First Amendment right to be present at and to photograph or film, any event in a public place. See Perry Education Association versus Perry Local Educators Association, 1983. Here's the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise of, thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances enacted in Congress December 15, 1791. I mean, these are police law enforcement. So here's the 42 U.S.C. 1983. Any officer or public official who deprives another of their First Amendment rights is personally and departmentally subject to suit for civil damages for deprivation of rights per 42 U.S.C. 1983. Every person who under color of law means they're telling you can't do something, claiming it's a law when it isn't. They're acting under the color of law, kind of like the IRS does. But that's a whole nother video. Deprives another person of his civil rights is liable for civil damages. See Pearson v. Ray, 386 U.S. 547, 1967, a Supreme Court case. See also Monell versus... And again, when I showed the judge this, she goes, you might think this is real. The judge read this, looked at these during the case, which I haven't published yet. I will. So this is my press ID. Did I make it myself? Yes. Is there such thing as a government-issued press pass? No, there isn't. The ones that the CNN has, they have a printer make them. So I printed them myself instead of paying a printer $120. Plus, the printers that make press passes, they put expiration dates on them so that you have to keep spending money to get new press passes when their expiration date. So it seems like every sheriff's department, police department needs an education about press credentials and who is not allowed, and where they're not allowed to record. So you see there, the lieutenant saying, I didn't need the ID, I just need to say I'm press, which is, since these were both around my neck and they're gigantic with my picture, first, last name, the law on the back, could see I was headed down to the media staging area. The problem is that this douchebag, because I was on a bicycle and just wearing street clothes and not a suit and tie with a $10,000 camera in a van, that I can't possibly be media. So he decided, and this piece of shit decided, that I wasn't media because they decided I wasn't media, which is not how the law works. And again, internal affairs, of course they found themselves innocent, and even though I just showed you blatantly which law they're violating, they insist they haven't done anything wrong. Anyway, this is a long enough video. Thanks if you lasted this long, thank you. But check this out. This is a Pontiac Fiero from back in the day. Drug confiscation. I'm sure they confiscated this car, this Corvette, and this Mustang. I wonder if that's a 5.0. Ooh, zoom. Yes, I'm trying to zoom. Can't. Anyway, you guys probably don't remember the Pontiac Fiero, but people used to take this car and make like a miniature Lamborghini out of it. Made it look like a Lamborghini. But I'm sure this is all from what do you call it? Civil asset forfeiture, which again is a whole nother video. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my video. This is like a part 2.5. The next video is already published. It's part 3. This will be part 2.5, and part 3 is where they actually show up at my house a few days later and issue me the retaliation citations for lack of address and some bicycle citations because what's his name is trying to act like, and you'll see that he lied in court and everything. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, call Vivint, order Vivint Security if you're if you need a smart home security. It's about 50 or 60 bucks a month depending on what equipment you get. If you lose solution number 29LLV, I will get a commission. Also, if you'd like to buy one of my coin rings, I make awesome rings out of silver coins. And before you retards say it's illegal, it's not illegal, okay? Here's a 1973 Eisenhower. Here is, this is my favorite one in the world. Nicest one I've ever made, in my opinion. Camera's not going to focus on it, of course. There it is. This one's beautiful. So, if you want to buy a silver coin ring, see what I got, what I make, go to eBay and type in MISSK976 and buy a ring. Alright guys, thanks again. If you watched, you could also call Pasco County Sheriff's Office and tell them they're in direct violation of law. It's blatant, it's totally obvious, and to stop playing games. Alright guys, thanks again, bye.